Oh, oh, oh. I woke up and I'm feeling myself. On my own, now me know. Champion world.
What's up, good people? 36 years ago today, I was in 1st Marine Division in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Jebel, Saudi Arabia. The star Desert Shield was later turned into Desert Storm. Now, I'm only talking about that not only because it's a staple in my life, but also because it left some marks in my life that were positive in a way that influenced the way I am today. I want to share something about one person in particular, actually two things. I want to talk about my experience in Japan while I learned there, and also something that could be useful to other people that I learned in Saudi Arabia. So when I got to Saudi Arabia, there was a first sergeant from Kentucky. So August of 1990, all of us are 18, 19, 20 years old. We all had to fill out our wills, living will, and also we had to pick up our supplies. And the supplies, they had a little box that said estimated time of return, ETR. They put UNK, unknown. Now, those in the military understand what this is when I say this. You have two dog tags. One dog tag, that's that tag with your name on it, identification, social security number, all that kind of stuff, your rank. That's around your neck. The other one is on your foot in case your body gets separated, right? Sounds gruesome, but it's a fact. That's what you're there for, to fight for your country. Now, with that being said, the first sergeant I'm telling you about, who was also in Vietnam, he was a very dangerous man, probably the most dangerous man I ever met at that time, up to that point. Later on, I met some Navy SEALs who were probably more skilled because they were younger, faster, training had gotten better. But at that time, that moment, he's the most dangerous man I ever met in my life. He's 5'6", 175 pounds, maybe. And he had red hair, just really red hair, freckles, looked goofy, but dangerous as hell. So anyway, what he said was, before the ground war started, fast forward January 1991, I think it was like January 16th or 17th, war starts tonight. So anyway, move past that. Before, start trying to clear bunkers before we got to that point. He asked all of us, he said, hey, how many of y'all, there's 90 of us in my platoon at the time, 90 of us. He said, how many of y'all are willing to die for your country? Of course, we're young. Each one of us raised a hand. We all die for our country. You know what he said? No, fuck that. Make the other person die for their country. It's about mindset. But he said, we all praying for peace, but you better be ready for war. That's what's going to allow you to survive in this life, today and forever. And I'll never forget that, because I remember that day like it was yesterday. That was 36 years ago. I still remember that man's face. I don't know if he's even alive today. He was probably 40 then, 40. So he'd be 76, 80. He'd be about 80 years old now, maybe. But yeah. One of those dangerous men I've ever met in my life. But those words always stuck to me. That mindset was different. Now, fast forward, we're going to talk about Kintsugi. Kintsugi is an art form in Japan. Now, I never knew what Kintsugi was till later. I've seen some of the art, but never knew the true story behind it until recently. So an artisan is a person that's a crafts person. They're a crafts person. They can do things with their hands. They make things that are not massively produced. Typically, the things they make are worth a lot of money. But there was a porcelain piece, or a highly valuable piece. It was a bowl that was broken. Now, when this bowl was broken after it was made by hand, it was fractured so much that every other artisan believed that the actual piece was destroyed. One artisan in particular took that piece, molded it back together. They took all the broken pieces and molded them with gold. The pieces he could not find, he filled it with more gold. Now, what's symbolic about that is, just because something is broken does not mean that it loses its value. It may not ever return to its original state, but it might be better. That broken bowl put together with gold is now worth a lot more than the original piece before, because somebody believed in it. The fractures that it had, it didn't hide them. It filled those fractures with gold. To me, that's symbolic of resilience, dealing with trauma, building yourself to a way where no matter what happens, you don't have to hide it. Those scars in your life, you don't have to hide. You recognize it, don't run past it, but you build from it. Make yourself better. Be resilient. Even though that bowl is broken, now it's an art form that's been passed on for, I don't know, maybe a century or two, from what I understand. But now that art form is mimicked all over the world. And those art pieces that are made like that, that's where it came from. Kintsugi or Kintsugi. Yeah. So yeah, that's where art form came from. But things that are broken and put back together are sometimes better. Now, this new generation is very different from my generation. I understand counseling, I understand trauma, I understand those kind of things. And we all have to move past it. At some point, you got to live. The resilience, the empathy, the sympathy, all of that is relevant. But dwelling in the past can slow you down. Pick up the pieces, build it up, and you become more valuable. You can. It's up to you. We have to be bigger than our excuses. We have to. And if you have been taking counseling for more than 10 years, it's probably not working. You need to try something else. But yeah. Anyway, I believe in it, but I think that sometimes excuses are made so deeply, so hard, there's an excuse to act a fool and to be a maniac.
What? What?
We diagnose people with other things and give them more drugs and things like that. We have access to more information, but building yourself up, making yourself better is very important. And the gold that's inside this Kintsugi piece, art form, the reason why, not just because the gold is valuable is because it can withstand a lot of heat, for one. 2, it can adjust, it can form easily, and it's resistant to corrosion. Hear that? Gold is resistant to corrosion, and it can withstand a lot of heat. Just like a diamond. A diamond is made through pressure. A few other things as well, but pressure is the operative word here. Pressure makes diamonds. Gold is valuable, and it can withstand a lot of heat. My point is, when you can withstand pressure, you can withstand heat, it makes you more resilient. Just because you're traumatized and just because you've been through something doesn't make you any less valuable. It does not. Build your resistance, be strong, be bigger than your excuses. Be bigger than your excuses. Trust me, it'll fare well for you. And your different mindset in life. So a good, strong man can be resilient like gold, affect and hold pressure like a diamond, and be better. True men don't have time for excuses. Weak men create tough times. Tough men create easier times. Remember that. If you raise a young son, you try to protect him from all this pain and anguish. You try to protect him so much, you're actually making him weak. Mentally, be less of a man. Emotionally weaker. Sensitive. Everything's a problem. Needs a lot of attention, a lot of validation. He will never find his purpose because he's looking for validation in everything that he does. This could be true for women as well. But I typically talk to young men because men don't need that recognition. When you live in your purpose, you don't care about admiration. You don't care about validation because you validate that in yourself. Be bigger than your excuses. Your wisdom comes from struggle. Your strength comes from struggle. And what your struggles are not necessarily just for you. Sometimes it's for other people, for you to pass on that wisdom, to pass it on and give game to the next one. Things are going to happen. Having a nice house, having big money, and having a nice education doesn't always make you better. It does not. There are a lot of people that have a lot of degrees, but they can't apply that and make it applicable to their lifestyle. They don't. And moving ahead in life is very, very important. Has to be.
Because I am hard, you will not like me. But the more you hate me, the more you will learn. I am hard, but I am fair. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless. And my orders are to weed out all non-hackers who do not pack the gear to serve in my beloved corps. Do you maggots understand that?
Sir, yes, sir.
Bullshit, I can't hear you.
Sir,